On the 26th of March 2026, a letter to the editor was published in the flagship scientific journal Nature titled "Marine Life is a Silent Casualty of Armed Conflicts." The authors of the letter wrote,
"Ecocide is too often accepted as the price of war. A ceasefire can halt human violence, but does nothing to stop the spread of marine pollution."
They underlined how the current situation in the Middle East, marked by strikes on oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz, threatens marine ecosystems due to the high risk of fuel leaks. For this reason, they argue that scientists should be involved in global diplomacy to help safeguard our seas. Whether you agree or not with the conclusion of the letter, one thing is true. Conflicts increase the risk of threats to ecosystems, something that environmental NGOs like Greenpeace have been pointing out for years. The ocean, already under threat by climate change, pollution, and overfishing, covers 70% of our planet's surface, yet only 10% of it is effectively protected. And while times of war and deep uncertainty may cause us to forget about it, World Ocean Day, celebrated globally on the 8th of June, reminds us of our responsibility to turn our attention back to it. Welcome to Euronews Tech Talks, the podcast that explores the digital, technological, and scientific landscape shaping Europe. I'm your host, James Thomas. This week kicked off with World Ocean Day, and for this reason, in this episode, we'll look at how satellites and artificial intelligence can help us understand the ocean and take better care of it. To do so, we spoke with Alain Arnaud and Fabrice Messal from Mercator Ocean International, a France-based non-profit organisation currently transitioning into a non-governmental organisation. With Arnaud, the director of the Digital Ocean Programme, and Messal, Ocean Data Solution Architect, we explored Mercator's flagship product, an open-access virtual replica of the ocean. What exactly is the goal of this ambitious project, and how was it built?
My name is Alain Arnaud. I'm the Director of Digital Ocean at Mercator Ocean.
We met Alain Arnaud in January at the 18th European Space Conference in Brussels, where Mercator had a stand featuring a giant screen displaying the European digital twin ocean.
This digital twin of the ocean is basically a digital replica, so inside a computer, of the state of the ocean. So it's a very high-resolution model that encompasses many information on the state of the ocean, including so the different waves, currents, salinity, temperature, information also on the biology of the ocean. So it's something that we are going, let's say, around Mercator, but in collaboration with many ocean centers around Europe that are providing us those information, those applications in order to create this, as much as possible, accurate model of the ocean.
The European Digital Twin Ocean was announced by European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen in 2022. It's basically an EU initiative led by Mercator Ocean International and the Flanders Marine Institute on behalf of the European Commission. It's accessible online, we'll leave the link in the episode description. It's free, and it basically looks like a more interactive and colourful version of Google Maps. With the European Digital Twin Ocean, you can investigate different aspects of the ocean. Sea temperature, plastic pollution, but you can also explore what-if scenarios. To better understand what these what-if scenarios are, let's listen to Fabrice Messal talking to our podcast producer Alice Carnevali while she's experimenting with the webpage.
This is the Wadden Sea coast in Germany, and we have worked with a German laboratory called Ereon, which have developed a specific model on this area in order to simulate the reintroduction of seagrass meadows in order to fight coastal erosion. And thanks to that, we are able to play with this simulation in order to test what is the best scenario in order to take decision and to protect the coast. So I choose the configuration playing with the position of the seagrass meadow and the density. And when I have configured this simulation, I launch the simulation. On the screen, you see the results. In green, the dots represent the position of the seagrass meadows with this configuration. And now, if I see this map in blue, in red, you see the evolution of the reduction of the erosion risk. So
you basically see the erosion and then you say, okay, what if I put this amount of seagrass meadows? What happens? What's the density I should put and where this will have an impact?
Exactly. This is what we call the what-if scenario application in order to support decision-making.
What-if scenarios represent an important part of the digital twin ocean, and they're possible thanks to the use of artificial intelligence. Here's Alain Arnaud again.
With the AI-based model, we can change the initial condition of the ocean. And for instance, we can say, okay, what will be the population of fish if, for instance, the temperature is increased of 2 degrees? So it's something that is easy to perform with AI-based models.
But artificial intelligence tools don't only contribute to the realization of what-if scenarios. Presented at the Digital Ocean Week happening in Brussels as we record this podcast on the second week of June is an AI chatbot available on the European Digital Twin Ocean's website. This tool was not yet ready in January when we first talked to Alain Arnaud, but we got him quickly on the phone a couple of days ago to understand this new development. He explained to us that you can ask the chatbot all types of questions, such as what the ocean temperature was in Biarritz on a random day, or what the impact of what Hurricane Katrina was. But AI is not the only technological tool upon which the European Digital Twin Ocean is built. Satellites are crucial in its construction.
So the system we are using are able to assimilate any data coming from any satellite. Of course, what we are doing currently is mainly to use data coming from the European satellite, but we can integrate also data coming from collaboration with United States or India, or also we have also some information coming from Japan, for instance. It's really something that is very open, and ocean science is very open today, so it's very interesting to have those global collaborations.
As we analysed in episode 42 of Euronews Tech Talks, Earth observation satellites are key to gathering data about our planet's land and water surface. Much of the information used to build the digital twin ocean comes from Copernicus, the European Union's Earth observation programme. But of course, when we talk about technology, we're also talking about risks and security. Here's Alain Arnaud.
First of all, we need to be sure that the digital twin ocean is by itself resilient. This means that we need to rely on information coming from satellites that are trustable, that are reliable. So we have the example of the satellite coming from ESA and Copernicus that are really fully European and we can trust them. We need to have also, and that is not so easy, the digital infrastructure. So we cannot rely on external provider. We need to have some solution in Europe in order to support our development, our processing. And the third part is the part on the software themselves. We are developing AI-based solutions that are fully European in order to be independent from any external sources of information in order to have 100% reliability on our information. So now, once we have that, what you can do is to use that for other very strategic information. So we know that we have today information coming from, let's say, cable networks that could be in danger. We have information coming, for instance, for maritime security that also require this high level of reliability. So it's very important for us to maintain this sovereignty in our data in order to provide those services.
In terms of security, the digital twin ocean aims not only to be reliable and secure for its users, but also more actively involved in the European security sector.
The digital twin ocean today is a pre-operational system, so we are not fully integrated in those very operational activities. For instance, in Europe, you have the EMSA, the European Marine Security Agency, that is in charge of that. They are 24-hour system really answering to emergencies and things like that. DTO today is not adapt to that. but it will be in the future because we'll have, for instance, some system that could be used, for instance, by the EMSA in order to improve their prediction. So when there is an oil spill, they are able to determine where is this oil spill. With the use of the DTO, they can also help in knowing what will be the evolution of the oil spill, when it's going to maybe to encounter the coast and things like that. So it's very important to integrate this DTO in the operational chain, for instance, for maritime security.
Today, the Digital Twin Ocean's first target is scientists, but the project also aims to have a more practical outcome by being used by regional organisations like the European Marine Security Agency. On the 3rd of June, Mercator's initiative achieved another important milestone as it was included in OceanEye, a new EU initiative for ocean observation and protection. As part of this plan, the European Digital Twin Ocean is set to be fully operational by 2030. So, whether you're interested in preserving the state of the ocean, security, or technology, the European Digital Twin Ocean is a project to keep an eye on. That's all for today's episode of Euronews Tech Talks. We hope you enjoyed this topic and learned something new about the ocean. If you want to dive even deeper into the subject, have a listen to our episode 48, From Crisis to Cure, Cleaning the World's Oceans, and listen to Euronews' very own podcast series, Ocean Calls. We'll be back in 2 weeks to unpack another fascinating topic related to the sea, microplastics. See you then, and thanks for listening. I'm your host, James Thomas. This series was created by Marta Rodriguez Martinez. This episode was written and produced by Alice Carnevali. The theme music is by Leo Lebrun. Sound editing and sound mixing is by Joanne Breton. Our editor-in-chief is Niaz Samadizada. If you aren't already, you can listen to this series on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Castbox, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you're enjoying the podcast, please consider leaving us a positive review and, of course, sharing it. Thanks for listening.